Welcome to Buzzworthy Radio. Here's your host, Novell J. Lee.
Welcome back into the buzz, everybody. As we are rounding out our ATX TV Festival coverage, we had a sit down with 4 of the greatest casting directors on the planet. One of the things that I want to let you know about this episode is that we are taking it back old school because this is nothing but strictly audio. We sat down with Felicia Fasano, Eric Souliere, Rebecca Mangieri, and Veronica Collins Rooney. We got some tidbits about what their makeup is and when they cast these specific roles on these shows that we primarily talked about: 911 Nashville, Cold Case, The Shield, which was one of my favorite shows ever, and Once Upon a Time. So sit back, relax, and take a listen to this interview. Check it out. Well, it's good to see you again. I'm very happy. I got to go to the Is It Too Niche panel yesterday, and it was very insightful because
Talk to me.
I ran into JJ afterwards, and I told her the same thing I'm about to tell you, is that I don't understand why do shows sometimes have a fear, if I can call it a fear, of casting. They like to cast against type, and I don't understand why shows would like to cast against type. And I loved hearing you having to say, you and Wilson both, that we want to have people that are in these roles that actually fit these characters. Why do you feel like the shows want to have characters that are actually against type?
Can you give me an example? 'Cause I'm not sure I'm understanding when you say against type. Do you mean authentic?
Authentic.
All right, so
More
that's it.
authentic.
Okay. So why would somebody not want to cast authentic
Yeah.
as opposed to authentically queer, authentically disabled? Okay.
Yes.
So sometimes what it comes down to is the talent pool, because there's not enough parts for maybe somebody who's disabled because of there's maybe, limitations in a part for that kind of person. Like if it's, I don't even know, but if somebody is in a wheelchair and it's the role of a runner, that's a stupid example, but just something we'll say. So if there's not enough parts for that, for talent pool, they don't get the experience to get better.
That's interesting.
So you're looking at people who may be at a level that can't handle a very big part. So that's when they go to inauthentic, playing something. The intention is always to try to find authentic.
Yeah.
Like when I cast in League of Their Own, the role of Birdie, who was a trans male, black, in his 50s, who had no pre-op, no whatever you take for it, like to before, like the voice would change because of the period of time. There were 3 black trans male actors from SAG at that time.
Wow.
And they were young because I needed someone in the 50s. So I had to do a gigantic search, and I had to look outside of actors, but we always stayed true to the authenticity. So at some point, other people might say, well, if we can't find it, let's a male actor in that part, or let's cast somebody who has gone through the surgeries already.
Right.
We just kept at it. I mean, I was looking in like books and photo, like I was just finding people off the internet and like a preacher in Seattle and having him tape, like not actors, to see if I could find it. We did find Lee, who was an actor who'd only done like one other little job before, and he lives in San Francisco. Was wonderful in the part, but it took months and looking everywhere. But at some point, if you don't have that time, you might have to say, well, this part really needs somebody of a level that now we'll have to we're going to have to put it in. We're going to make it work, but it's not going to be authentic.
Yeah.
That's what I think would happen.
Okay. I just seeing everybody on stage talking about how there isn't that representation, not just with the disabilities, but also with Black, queer, Latino, queer, lesbian. I never really saw that before until they actually explained that on stage, that we really are not getting these types of characters on the screen.
No, and it starts, where do you think it starts?
It starts at the top, like what you said yesterday.
Yeah. The showrunners, it's the writers, why can't a Marvel superhero be disabled? That's their superpower.
That's their superpower.
Yeah. I mean, I couldn't tell you except for they do like to populate those worlds with famous people.
Yes.
So until, like I said, Kevin becomes a star,
I remember you saying that at the end.
we'll be like, we need him to play the captain of the football team.
I'm not looking to cast him as this. I'm looking to cast him in a lead role.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's when they said, would you cast him in these small parts? I'm like, well, when he's a star, I'm going to want to put him in, all the big parts.
Yeah.
So that's sort of my feeling on that. But look, every situation is different. Every show is different. Everything you start, you have to approach it like fresh and get to know the people you're working with and what they represent also. What's important to them. A queer showrunner. The Black queer showrunner now. He's amazing. You have tons of conversations about all of those.
Yeah.
It's just, you need to have more representation there. I cast Michelle Buteau's series, Survival of the Thickest. Everyone on the show is Black.
Right.
And hopefully everyone's plus size. We're always trying to populate the world. I mean, I'm always an advocate for that in general as a plus size person, that I always want to see more of that. I want to see it. I know that Ashley Nicole Black has been working on this a lot as the lead roles, as the romantic lead. That's not a fantasy. Like Rebel Wilson in A Dream gets the hot guy when she was heavy.
Right.
But like, here's a beautiful, large size, plus size Black woman like Michelle Buteau getting the hot Italian guy and also a lot of guys. She's married. She's engaged to like the hottest guy. Like that we want to see because that is reality.
And I think maybe that's what as it came off with casting against type, maybe that's where it sounds like where you're seeing.
But you're not seeing, this is very rare. Michelle is very rare in it. Only as she became famous. She played the best friend forever.
She was the side chick or the sidekick. Side chick.
She was
Sorry.
She was the sassy friend. And it wasn't only until she wrote a book based on her life and that got bought and created her own show based on her life that she could do that she was at a place in her career that the studios, banked on.
Okay.
And gave her Netflix specials and gave her, like there's a certain, not everyone is there yet.
Right.
But I think like what JJ is doing, writing her story about her and her brother, no one else could do that. No one else can make that show but her.
Right. And I don't think anybody has the courage to do that.
But we maybe need to make sure people feel comfortable that they can tell their story.
Yes. How do we do that? That is the question. How do we do that?
If I knew.
You would know.
I mean, I can only do from my side, which is bring in all kinds of everybody, open up the world. But
what is the most difficult part of casting for a role? Because I know there were some tidbits yesterday where you were talking about there are times you may not get the description.
Sorry.
But you may not get the description of who you need for this specific role. If I remember that correctly from yesterday, there may not be those notes that come in. Was that when you're casting for a role, are there times where you may not get something from the top that describes?
100%. And then I just kind of do what I think it is. I mean, we'll have conversations, and if they're like, I don't really know, like it could be anything, then I'm like, okay, I have to really think about it. And then usually it goes to like, who are some of my favorite actors that I'd love to cast, like a part that somebody hasn't gotten to play before or hasn't had that opportunity to do so they can get seen. I mean, if it's like you can have anybody you want, then really picky.
I am Joe. I am so picky with food.
And this is like so overdressed. Like I'm like trying to find pieces that are not drenched in vinegar and salad dressing. I'm sorry, but the same. It's at the top. So it's really about, of all the worlds, I'm championing them. I'm getting them in front of the people to make decisions.
Because I feel like without any of the people from the top giving you something to go on, and then you find that person that you think is right for that role, all of a sudden they're going to come in and say, no, that's not what we want.
You're like, well, why didn't you tell us what you want? Well, I was picturing this, and you're like, why didn't you tell us that from the beginning?
Yeah.
That's part of the job.
Yeah.
Or somebody new comes in. Or you have a new director every episode. And they have different ideas than what the showrunner have. And then you're like in a discussion with them. So it is just part of our negotiation in that way.
So there have been instances where that's happened, where the showrunners might go, this is not who we envisioned for this role. You do push back on it and go, well, this is actually the person that is perfect for the role.
I mean, I don't usually push back unless I really think they're wrong or that they're not seeing what I see in that person, which I've had that times recently where I just kept saying, I think, can we just bring this person back again? And they finally
Okay.
were like, oh my God, you're right. But it took a couple of times of seeing them on their own tapes and me working with them to get them to the place where they fit now what they liked, you know?
Okay.
But I mean, for the most part, people you work with, you're going to be on the same page with. So there shouldn't be too much of that.
Okay. And you're
There's always like one part that no one can agree on. Now, a lot of times what that comes down to me was that it hasn't been written clearly.
That makes sense. And that kind of ties back into, well,
Right.
why didn't you tell us?
Or then they have to go back and rethink it and rewrite and write and go like, no, we didn't really figure out what this character was.
They may not have fleshed him out enough.
Yeah. Or it was wrong, or what, like how they described them was wrong from what's on the page. And
That
it's like,
happens too. Yeah. You also are going to be moderating the panel today for how to
I
cast a
know.
procedural.
Huh?
I'm going to be here doing interviews still. I'm not getting out of here until 4:00.
They wanted me to have one at the time I couldn't do it. I'm like, wait, I can't even do it then. I'm in other things. Yeah.
That's the one I really wanted to go to because I am talking to other people that are part of that panel today. And
That's what I think these are my friends. Do you need any help with them?
so I know that Rebecca has cast so many shows that were my favorite, like Cold Case and The Shield. The Shield was my jam. I loved me The Shield. Michael Chiklis, Walton Goggins are like top tier, my favorites. And I've always felt like when I see those types of shows, because I'm a big procedural guy
Oh, good.
and
Be great.
I'm a big fan. You should see me yesterday when I was talking to Tom Fontana about Homicide, Life on the Street. I was fanboying like nobody's business. And I was in my.
For his new shows now.
He has any right now because I know we mainly talked about him when he did Oz and obviously Homicide and
Perfect.
the third one, The Wire. But I'm always interested to know when they cast these roles in these types of shows, like how do they cast them when they're looking for the personality traits? Like, especially with The Shield, when you have Mike Chiklis, who is just tough as nails, because I'm always interested to know, like, you have that hard ass, which was Michael's character on The Shield, but you also have to find somewhere that they have that balance of where you can feel or the character themselves also feel some type of empathy and sympathy somewhere. They can't be a hard ass all the time. So I'm always interested to know how do you find that balance when you cast these roles? Because sometimes they could come in and just be a straight on hard ass. And
Well,
sometimes
you have to have material for both sides to show it. So when we are doing that, you always want to like ask the writers if there's nothing in the script to see that side.
so there's got to be something on the page.
Have to write scenes that may not ever be in anything just for the audition.
So then it'll come off one-sided or one dimension to where that's all you're going to see is
Yeah.
the fact that they are a hard ass or whatever. But yeah,
Ask-
you kind of answered that part of it because I think that was the major thing of how I wanted to know about that. But you explained it very well because it's going to come off one-dimensional and they're not going to be able to build off of that. You're going to only just have them appear as a hard ass unless it's on the page. So that was my
Well,
big.
that's for her, not for me. It's Veronica. Is that right?
Yes, we
I
did.
said, bring them over with me.
Novelle, nice to meet you.
Let me move this out of the way. Here, you guys sit here.
I can move my back so you can sit in next to me. Scooch in, scooch in. It is nobody but me and my.
We were together last year too, so it's my buddy. I'll just sit here for a minute with you.
Yeah.
I will.
The seat all nice and warm for me.
I did. Like my butt was right there. So let's warm it up. Let's warm it up for you.
I do love a good warm seat.
Oh, I thought you were gonna boba for a second. I was like, oh, is that a boba?
Me? Oh, it does kind of now because I'm seeing the bubble tea. I'm seeing the bubble tea.
A surprise coming in your.
I would have been like, where's the nearest bubble tea? Because I love bubble tea. Well, I live in South Jersey, so I'm close to Philly. So there's bubble tea shops in Philly. So
Yeah.
so there's a lot of them.
That's where my sister is in Tom's River.
Oh yeah, she's not that far from me, about an hour where I
Is
live.
there just
Yeah,
one?
there should be. And there's even people walking around giving water. So I'm just like flagging down, like, just give me this. It's one of the joys of sitting here. But we were just having a good chat just about I was at the panel yesterday that she was doing for Is This Too Niche? And you guys, and here you are. You guys are going to be into how to cast a procedural and get away with it panel. That's this afternoon.
Yeah.
I don't know what to expect from that, and I'm sad and I'm not going to be there because I really wanted to be there because procedurals are some of my favorite genre of shows to watch. I grew up on Law and Order.
Yes, who does not love Law?
The original Law and Order. I mean, I'm going back to even before Jerry Orbach came on the show. I'm even talking about yes. So, and then it got me into my love for Homicide: Life on the Street. Been one of my favorites of all time. And 911.
Yeah.
911.
Yeah.
Dude, you hit a gold mine with Peter.
Yeah.
You hit a gold mine with Peter. And my mom is probably going to be very jealous that I'm talking to someone who cast on this show because she was devastated when he left.
Oh my God, everyone was. I was on the pilot and first 2 seasons of the OG 911, so I was not on, and I've done the other 2 as
You've done the other 2, right?
I wasn't on the OG anymore when Peter departed, and I have never seen such a fan reaction to an actor leaving.
Oh my God.
Me.
Point,
For those that are listening right now, I'm raising my hand.
where the latest one, 911 Nashville, that I'm casting, when that came out, I would, articles and stuff would come out about it, and I would read the comments because I was just curious. The only comments are about Peter Krause, fans wanting him back and being like, we're not interested in this new one unless you bring Peter Krause back.
Wait, they've actually said that?
But
He was
he's here.
He is here for the Parenthood panel. And that was the one thing I said in my head. I was like, I have to see it because I need to show my mom that I met him. He's still alive.
I'm on the top.
They did.
They did. And it just was a spitfire of comments online on all social media platforms when they killed him off. And my mom literally came to me. She called me and she's like, do you know if he's coming back? You're on the inside. Do you know? And I'm going like, Mom, I don't know anything. I don't know anything. I just know that they killed him.
Very sad.
It was very sad. But the new one that I'll be honest, I have not checked out the new one yet.
Yes, it's fun.
But you
It's
got
very
to.
Fun cast.
It's very
I was gonna say, but it was you had
Really cool.
the cast on that show though. In spite of me not seeing an episode yet, I know that cast, and that cast is elite.
Well, thank you.
And fun and quirky. Like
And
there's all
fun.
kinds of depth.
And, it's a very specific world. That's what I like about the Free Night. I mean, the OG films in Los Angeles and set in Los Angeles. Lone Star was set in Austin, but filmed in Los Angeles. But then Nashville films in Nashville. And so, it's really fun, building that specific world. Like when I started on Lone Star, I came to Austin for the first time, actually, just for a few days to get
Like how to cast for those.
but yeah, just to get a sense of what the people are here feel like. But then Nashville, when we were doing the series regulars, and the series, when we were doing the series regulars, it was a very conscious thing about, trying to keep it specific to that world. So, we cast Deanne Rhymes as the series, and that role was very much, who out of the box, potentially from that world could we put in that role. And she just kind of, she was an idea I had that I was one of those days where I was like, I wonder. And, at the time I couldn't track her down. Like she had a manager, but I couldn't find any other reps. But in the meantime, I was working on a list of what other musicians could be really fun in that role. And
Interesting.
I called this one agent who represents another musician who has done some acting. And I said, would so-and-so maybe be interested? And he's like, no, but what about Leanne Rhymes? And I'm like, that's so funny you say that. I've been thinking about her from day one, but I can't really find, I haven't really been able to get in touch with anyone. He's like, well, she's with me.
Oh my God, that's great.
Because he's like a music crossover agent.
Okay.
And he's like, let me send it to her. I'll see what happens. And anyway, she came in and auditioned and nailed it. And so that was really fun. But then there's another role that we cast, Kimberly Williams Paisley.
I love her.
Regular with
Love her.
I've loved her since I was a kid from Father of the Bride, but she lives in Nashville. She's married to Brad Paisley, who's in the country music world. And so that felt very natural to have her in the group. And so it was really fun putting that group together to feel as authentic as possible.
Now, it's interesting that you said that because that was actually going to be one of my questions was the role for Leanne, not created for her, but catered to her?
So it was always written as this like Spitfire country singer who never quite made it.
Okay.
And she had a chip on her shoulders from the music world. And just, it was one of those things that just really came together beautifully where everyone kind of loves the idea. And when we approached her about it, she really was interested and wanted to put her best foot forward. And
Oh, good.
she asked for like a week to prepare for her audition. And we luckily had the time, which sometimes we don't.
I was going to say that was that was a nice timetable.
Yeah. So she put in the work and she came into audition and she earned that role. And not just because of who she is, which, initially got us thinking about her, but she put in the work and she gave a great audition. And she's been an amazing addition to the show. She has so much fun doing it. That was a really fun.
That's very good to hear that she actually came in and in certain terms, did the work. She wasn't expecting to take or get the role just because of name only. She actually wanted to come in and be, I hate sounding like the Marines, be all you can be. But that's literally what she did.
And she did put in the work. And again, like her audition was great. And she came in and she said, I'm sorry if I'm nervous, but I haven't auditioned for anything since I was 19.
Wow.
Meaning, not that she doesn't audition.
No, I know what you mean. Yeah, I knew what you mean.
Music forward. And so I think it just all came together and was one of those things where it's like, this just totally makes sense. And once you knew it was her, they tweaked it a little bit for her. And yeah, she's really fun. I've gotten to know her and she's a sweet.
Was there a role that was very difficult to cast for you?
Ever?
Yes,
probably.
One that stands out, really.
I don't know. I feel like everything has challenges. I don't want to say nothing's difficult because it's all part of the fun. There's some roles that are going to be way more specific.
Let's make it even more simplified.
Okay.
Was there any roles on the latest 911 that was difficult to cast for?
I mean, the final series regular that we cast is the character of Blue, whom we cast as actor Hunter McVeigh, and it's his first acting role ever.
Can I also mention that I knew that character name, and the first thing I said was, you have a character named after a song of one of the lead roles on this show. I was like, whose idea was that?
That role was the last one we cast because it's just, I don't know, people like never really believe this when I say it, but like finding, I don't know how to say it, finding people who can, we were really looking for a physical. He had to be, when you first see
Built.
When you first see this character, he's a stripper. And so when you first meet him, he's a stripper. So there's a physical aspect to it. And, we just wanted someone to feel fresh. And so we were really focused on discovering someone or breaking someone that the audience hasn't really seen before. And so it took a week. I read a lot of people for that, and there was some great auditions and some great actors who came in. But we were looking to check a lot of boxes. And Hunter, it was a long story how he came to me, but again, was not an actor. He was not pursuing acting.
So he wasn't even an actor.
No. And so I found him through his modeling agent in Nashville. Because again, we wanted to cast as authentically as possible. And one thing that was really important to us and the producers was that this role specifically felt authentically Southern. And a lot of the guys that were reading were like, great, but like, they don't feel like they're authentically from this world. And so I had reached out to local in Nashville and in the South, modeling agents, drama schools in the South, acting schools in the South, acting teachers in the South. And so I kind of did this big search of discovered authentically Southern actors, and Hunter's representative at the time was a modeling agent. He still is modeling agent actually in Nashville. And so Hunter had actually done a self-tape for another show from our producers, but it was like the first tape he'd ever done. Anyway, I reached out to them and they're like, well, he's not really an actor, but we'll send it to him and see what he says. And I read with him. Was from Nashville. I read with him on Zoom the next day. I got him to a place. I got like this audition scene was like, well, actually there was a few. And there's one scene we really worked on a lot. And I'm like, okay, he can get there. And again, this is only because he's never done this before. Right. And wasn't pursuing it. He wasn't an acting class or anything. And we saw diamonds in the rough. He was physically what we were looking for. He was authentic to what we were looking for. And, we had him work with a coach for a few days and brought him out to LA and we met him in person and he auditioned in person. And we cast him like 3 days before we started shooting.
Even you, Veronica, can speak to this too, with how you saying this, you took a chance on this person who is an unknown, hasn't done anything in the acting business. This was not something that he wanted to do. This was not something that he was looking for, but you worked with him in order to get at least to a point where he needs to be. And even for you, if you want to even chime in on this, have you actually had opportunities where you've worked with actors who were in no uncertain terms novices to help build them up because you did feel that they were the right person for the job?
100%. And I'll say, not even just actors that are inexperienced or wanting to become actors or just starting out, even actors that have worked before and are seasoned where they are the person, and they're somehow not completely getting that through to the powers that be that all need to agree and say yes for you to get the job.
Yeah.
I have worked with them and done multiple takes, even staging, even changing wardrobe, hair, do this, do that, and getting the performance I need that I know will impact the audience that needs to look at it like that's exactly what they're looking for, and then
Yeah.
they book the job. So we kind of bring them through the whole process if we believe in them from the beginning, and if they're told no and we still believe in them, fight for them to the end,
Yeah.
to then to see them get the job.
In a situation like Hunter's where it's like he's never done this, it was not just working with him to get him to a place. It was the process of doing so too, to see if he can take direction.
Mhm.
Because, on a show, especially a procedural like the ones we do, it's like there's no time to waste. You get on set and you have to be expected to adapt and go.
And I don't know if people
Uh,
know that you only get 2 to 3 takes, then you're moving on. I don't know if people
So-
know that that's when they film TV. It is that fast. You get a couple of shots at it, you're done. There's not like 50 takes.
Yeah. And on top of that, you're sometimes getting the script the day before you shoot. And so we also had to make sure that he could handle direction and saying like, now do it this way, and to see that he could listen and take it. And I'm speaking in general terms, not just about him,
right.
but it's seeing if they can handle that kind of environment and those kinds of changes, and just staying on your toes and giving the director and producers what they need on the day without lifting everything up. And so a lot of what we do, as Veronica just said, it's seeing that they can handle all of that, and that we're not going to have to, worry about
How many takes do we have to keep doing? Do we have to keep reshooting? Do we have to keep reblog? Do we have to do all this? And that's why I feel like when you explained that, that was very interesting to me, because I grew up and still watch to this day soaps on daytime.
Sure.
And As World Turns is my first love. It was my first love. It got me into the genre and learning exactly what they do on these shows, where they're literally reading pages and pages and pages of dialogue every day, which are new scripts every day. And they were at one point able to block, and if they had to do a retake, they could do one. Now we're at a level where, because of budget reasons, they can't do that anymore. There's no rehearsal time. They block and then they go. And if they get the nefarious pink pages that happens on the set, then they got to change it up right there on the set. So it's, to me, listening to this, I'm going, okay, so it's really no different compared to working on a daytime soap as far as that goes, with that environment of you only have a certain amount it takes to get it right. With daytime now, I feel like now it's just so interesting to me, because I know daytime is a very tough racket, because they're learning different dialogue every single day, about 72 pages of dialogue a day. And you're now, even with these shows, they're also on a time crunch. They need to make sure they get this right in this specific amount of time, and we got to keep it pushing. It's very interesting to know that now because I was always still under the impression with primetime shows, they have a little bit more flexibility with that. I'm now hearing that that's not really the case anymore, if it ever were the case.
Yeah. I mean, I'd say most time, especially for procedural or like when you're casting network television, time is never really on your side. You might have a week to cast an episode,
Mm.
but I don't know. I love the urgency to it. I love the scrambling nature to it of like, okay,
You like the rush?
I like it. Yeah, we have these 15 roles to cast in the next 3 days. And, there's obvious challenges to that, but I love fast and, I love being busy. So it's just thrilling to me to like cast an entire episode in 3 days. I mean, you get the script for the next one and you start all over.
Is that how you feel?
I'm like Eric, do not like that. Like I remember we were on, when I was doing CSI Vegas, sometimes you get like they've just written a role and it works in a day or two, or you just get you're like, and you need someone today for the next day.
Yeah.
And then you're having to scramble to do it. I don't love the scrambling. I can do it, but when I do it and I get it done and I love it, I do love that. That is very validating when it happens and you like crush it, like, okay. But the stress of it, because TV is fast paced, like Eric said, you've got like a week to kind of jam all the roles, get the script, get the sides, put it together, get the actors, go through everything. I mean, that's not a lot of time, especially with the high volume of roles. And sometimes if they're not like, oh, that's not exactly what I saw, and you have to see more people go again, that eats up more time. So it's quick, but it is fun and it is great to see the episodes come together.
Because again, it's
I do
a
like
bit of a flash where it's like it all happens so fast. So it is rewarding, I think, to finally see the episode and see how everyone did.
And because you hustled and worked so hard to like scramble, get it together, so it does feel nice. You're like, oh, look at all my hard work, and I'm happy with how it turned out.
When I started in casting, my strong suit was not like I hated being put on the spot. I just wasn't good at it. And this has like trained me to think quickly and think on the spot. And, there's times where it's like, we'll get a script revision and they'll be like, we need this new role in 48 hours. And I just have to immediately think like, I don't have time to put it back down or anything. What's a role I've done recently that's similar? I'll go back and see who I saw for that. Or, oh my God, this person that I thought of will be great for that. Let's just see if we can offer it to them. So it kind of forced me to learn how to work in all procedures, especially. It just forced me how to just think on my feet and to just work, which again, when I started, I was not good.
Yeah. You had to learn and not even ease into it. You really had to adapt.
It's just quick.
You had to adapt.
It's very quick problem solving sometimes.
I feel like that's the nature of this business, though. It's not just casting. I mean that in the industry, it's like that. So
there's a lot of pieces like that are quick thinking, and sometimes on the spot asking who do you want for this, who do you want for that, and sometimes you have it, and sometimes you have to really think about it. Like, I need time to chew on it, because you want to also think outside the box, not just immediately the first thought we would think.
And then you could think of someone who's brilliant and amazing, but then they're not even available.
Yes. We are doing a nice round. This is not even a round table, but we're doing a square table discussion about casting and procedurals, and because before you got here, the moderator of the panel for this afternoon, Felicia, was here, and we got to talk to her. And before I knew you were going to come over here to talk with us, the first thing I said, because she was like, I love them. They're my friends. I know them. What is it that you want to know? And I was like, well, first of all, when Rebecca comes over here, I want to talk to her about The Shield.
Okay.
Because that was my freaking jam.
That was my first TV job.
I love The Shield.
That was a masterclass in good luck.
Yes, it was.
7 days, make a show. I was just...
Excuse me?
It was every 7 days. There was a new episode.
I know.
School, yes.
Yeah. I don't think people realize, like, with streaming, you get 2 weeks. You get... Broadcast television is every 8 days. That one was 7 days. And so you're getting a new script every
7 days.
The Shield was amazing though, because we got to discover so many people and like real people, and not necessarily that show.
It's a masterclass of acting that you had there. I mean, obviously,
So we didn't do the pilot. I had to say that out loud. Deb Aquila did an amazing job on the pilot. But we did
from episode 1 on. I am.
you have to move.
You have to move. Oh, well, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Really appreciate it.
Bye, Eric.
Bye.
Yeah, I'll see you soon.
So as we were saying,
Anyway, where were we?
so you mentioned that you did not do the pilot,
No,
but
but we did from the first episode.
that's pointing at me. It should not point at, no, it wasn't, was pointing at you.
We got to discover.
I'm not a novice at this, really.
We got to discover because Sean Ryan's, the mandate was he watched I'm talking about, he watched every television show that was on while he was writing a show,
I wish.
running a show. And at that time, you could watch it.
Sure.
Not like now.
The volume.
Yeah. The volume is just absolutely
I
unbearable.
used to really try to keep up, and it's
Me too. And I, at one point, I feel like I was keeping up, and now
I felt like I was doing a really good. I talked to you about the soaps and everything because, you know, at the time when I started watching, there were like 20 on the air. So imagine me trying to keep up with As the World Turns and then Guiding Light and then The Young and the Restless. And then I did not. I was born. Well, I started after
Barbara.
Santa Barbara was my jam. I started with when The Bold and Beautiful came on. So I started after Capitol ended. So the lineup was Young and the Restless, Bold and Beautiful, As the World Turns, and Guiding Light when I started watching. And then I started finding ABC shows, and then I watched Loving, and I watched All My Children, and then One Life to Live, and then General Hospital, and then there was NBC.
That was after Luke and Laura, though.
It was, and then but I did start watching it when they came back.
Okay.
When they came back to the show in '93, and then that's when I got into it because of the Stone Has AIDS story.
Right.
Yes, I was a fan, and I watched it once that went down and Sonny Corentos became my main man. That was my main dude. Yes, he is. He's still on it. He is still on it. And then Santa Barbara and Another World and then Days of Our Lives. And I'm just going like, oh.
What was the other one?
Passions. Passions was the other one.
Old lady and
The Witch and
the doll.
The doll. Oh, my boy. I love me some Timmy. But that was his name. Timmy.
Oh, my God.
See, a world you missed. A world you missed.
I mean, I tried to keep up.
It's
So anyway, Sean would watch everything. And if we brought in an actor and he could think of 3 credits that they had that he had seen.
That's insane. I can't even do that.
oh, interesting. I would think he would want them.
He did not want to use anybody that you could look at them and be like, I just saw them on.
So it's not even a typecast thing. It's just, it was more.
To make it look real, like it was a
to
real,
make it look
correct.
real.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And
No,
so-
that is smart.
And it was smart and really wanted it to be a real world where you didn't get taken out of it.
Yeah, sure.
Like even us casting Floral Weathers, like he hadn't been seen.
Bro.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like it's not like he had been around in a while.
Right.
And so that was a big deal for him.
Yeah.
Because it was somebody that he knew who it was, but hadn't been seen.
Up until then. Yeah. And with even with the Shield, it made me have a new appreciation and love for CCH Pounder.
I love her so much.
She was,
We just had her on Chicago Med.
yes,
A season? No.
the season before, I think it was. Yeah.
Yes. She is.
She's such a tour de force.
I know.
I've had her on my show multiple times.
Have you?
And every time I talk to her, it's like I learn something new out of every single
That's
conversation.
smart.
She's got so many stories, and I feel like I'm still not done hearing them
No.
all. Nope.
No. She's
She is a wonderful insight and out. And
Yes.
every time when she was doing the
the
new
NCIS.
the New Orleans version, yes. And when I was talking to her when she was doing that show, she always invited me to come so I could experience what New Orleans was like. She wanted me to have the food. She wanted me to do everything. She always made sure, like,
She still lives there.
she still lives there.
Yeah.
She still lives
We
there.
flew-
Yeah, she stayed. She loves it. And she was like, don't come when it's Mardi Gras. I was like, I don't want to come when it's Mardi Gras. I don't want to, no. So I did not go during Mardi Gras, and I went and I got to experience what those streets would not be like during Mardi
Yeah.
Gras.
She was probably so happy to show you.
Yes, I miss that woman so much.
Yeah.
But she was one of those actresses from The Shield that I fell in love with the most. I already
Now, the
was.
story is that role was written for a man. And Deb brought her up and said, what about?
So how did that switch? Yeah.
I think it was just Deb's idea.
So it was Deb's idea to change it. That was a smart decision.
Think so.
That was a smart decision because I don't think that role would have worked for man. If we kept it that way.
Another man.
No, you didn't. You already had a strong one with Mike in the lead.
The whole strike team, and it was a strength to make it a woman.
100% agreed. And this was before you sat down. The one thing Flea and I talked about, especially with The Shield, with casting a role such as Michael's role, because the one thing I always thought about was, yes, you need to have a badass dude, but I also feel like you need to have a badass dude that can not just the character have that sense of empathy and sympathy, but also as a viewer watching, are they not just a hard ass and they also have.
You have to almost laugh at what he does sometimes, or it doesn't.
Right.
If he's just, what are you watching?
What are you watching it for?
Right.
And that's why I'm always going like, how do you cast such a role like that? Because
they did an amazing job. They did from top to bottom in that series regular cast. They did an amazing job.
that was just top tier entertainment for
Yes.
me. I mean,
I'm rewatching it now.
I said I needed to do a binge of it again.
It's on
I
Hulu.
do. Yeah, it is on Hulu.
And I are watching it right now. We
Oh,
went
no
back.
kidding.
And it's so funny. I can't remember where I'm going during the day, but as I'm watching episodes, I can like remember from 2000. Absolutely, I can remember casting certain roles.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Have you had that happen?
It's funny. I started rewatching Once Upon a Time with my son.
That's a good one.
He loves it. And what's funny is he, he's so deep in. He got into like when we were in season 4, I think. I'm like, oh gosh, we're already in season 4. Because that's when it's like episodes were 22, 23.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Full
It's
orders.
a lot of content.
And he'd be like,
But that
"This
was
is
like what we
happening."
talked about before. Like with all these streaming things, you can get like 8 to 10 episodes a season where we were always dealing with 22 to 23.
No, you have to really be invested.
Oh no, he was invested, and it's funny because he's like, Mom, this is happening now with Captain Hook, and he's 12 now, and this is when he was like, 11. He just turned 12 when he was 11, and it's funny we're watching, and I'm like, I don't remember this, but then when I saw the cast pop, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I remember I cast this person in this Giancarlo Esposito, and
Right.
yeah.
Yes.
And I just remember going, oh my gosh, that's right, and Sebastian Stan,
Yeah.
Sebastian Stan, yeah.
and just being like blown away by like, oh my gosh, I love all these characters in this cast, and I just
remember.
yes, but you do when you've been doing this 20 plus years,
Yeah.
you do start
Yeah.
forgetting, and then when you say like, oh right, and then you remember, it does take you back to that time, remembering what you were doing during that time when you were in it too.
Yeah. Because if you go back and remember, like The Shield was only 10 episodes, even then. But like when you're used to doing 22s and 24s shows, it all gets lost.
Especially if it was an hour show doing
I can
those.
remember so focused on Cold Case, but
That's another one I have to rewatch because I had Danny Pino on the show and we talked about that, and I loved Cold Case, but he was also on The Shield.
that's how we got him on.
We talked about The Shield. Yep. We even talked about The Shield when he was on it.
Yeah. But you start like CSI New York, I don't remember a lot about, but Cold Case, I remember.
But Cold Case is such a beast to cast because you had to match the younger with the older.
With
so
the
it's,
older.
It's
Yes.
difficult.
With that show.
I feel like I should be on stage with you guys talking about this today.
I know.
I know. We're doing it
right.
now.
Yeah.
It's insane to even think about. I didn't. With you even saying about your son, that's a very valid point because he's 12. We're now at an age where not many people, especially in that age, are what are they now? Zennials? What are they? I don't even know anymore.
Gen Alpha.
And we don't have the attention span to do a show that has 22 to 25 episodes a season. But you said,
It is unusual.
but he's also doing it in a bingey way though, because that show is now not on the air anymore.
He did this with Modern Family.
That's mine. Is
Binged
doing
the entire.
mine too.
But it was really fun to rewatch with him because, like, God, I love this show. It's so funny.
Did the same thing.
They're watching.
Modern Family.
Yeah, isn't that funny?
That
So it must be a thing that's going around with the Gen Alpha that they're finally discovering some of these shows. But I am glad that Brenda got to see Once Upon a Time. 'Cause it's a show I did.
Yeah,
It's a
we
show you
can't
did.
see all the shows I've done. And I was waiting for him to like
be
like,
able to.
be able to. Yeah, that's so
Yeah.
fun. But like we get to watch Tracker together, which is nice, and he does like that, so we'll watch that together.
It has the fairy tale characters. I mean, that was a fun show to even watching it in real time. It was absolutely enjoyable for me. Lala Farilla.
Lana is great, and I'll tell you, Lana. When we cast Lana, I was also casting another show where I just was looking for the lead of a show, and then we're going to send him to Canada. It was one of the
She was
Canadian
on The Shield.
shows. Oh,
What?
that's right.
That's right.
So
Oh my
she comes in for that show, and I'm like, you know what, you're good for this, but I have another role you're so perfect for. And she's like, okay, sure, I'll come in for that. So we brought her in the next day. She she's like, thank you, I love this role. She comes in with a shawl,
She would.
sitting in the lobby, comes in with the shawl in the room doing, had someone else in. And then I come out and I see her and I was like, I go back in the room. I'm all, nobody talk to her.
No,
Nobody say anything to
we're
her
gonna
when
get
she
right
walks in.
into
We're gonna
it.
get right into it.
Yeah.
So I go out there
Don't
and I'm
break
all,
her character.
yeah, I said, so she comes in, does it. We're all like blown away.
Yeah.
And then I'm all, okay, now we can talk to her. So after she,
That's when they stop and then you go, hi.
exactly.
You experienced that when you had to do with method
And-
actors? Like,
Like,
what
you
are
know
the signs? I know with the shawl aspect of it, I obviously would have been able to notice that
She was
myself,
like-
but what?
It's their body language. It's
Okay.
not looking you in the eye.
And I'll tell you, we loved her so much that after that meeting, we were like, let's just send her. Let's
Yeah.
just send her. And we sent her alone to show, because
Which
usually
you
send
never do.
choices. We never,
Really?
you always send choices. We said, we think it's her. Send her.
Okay.
I haven't
Okay.
even cast anybody else yet either. And that's unusual.
Wow.
And like that, because that's how good she was.
She was the first? She was the first.
First and only for that
Wow.
one. And she was just,
That's unusual.
was
That's
it.
how good she was.
that's how
Mhm.
good she was.
I love hearing those. I mean, the only other one I heard like it was like that was David Schwimmer for Fred's. Because he
That could Jessica Camacho on All Rise.
really.
Yes. You can do another. She was so good that we were like,
She's so good.
she was so good that it's not like she was like a supporting character, but she wasn't feet. But
Yeah.
like we
Okay.
need to get her. We need to lock that in now because we don't want to lose her.
Nice. I love when that happens.
Yeah.
It's good.
It's it's a lot of times you're trying to decide between people. It's amazing when that happens to somebody. You're like, oh my God, like that's it.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Can I say that probably that explanation could also work for one of my favorite actors on Chicago Med, and that is Stephen Webb.
Like,
I
He is
love
everything.
that dude so freaking much.
so happy for letting him be.
Yes, because he's
He's
so
very
he's so natural at being funny.
I mean, he's a sick.
He's a sitcom guy from Wings.
I'm like,
Yeah. And speaking of As the World Turns, that was one of his first roles, if not the first role. He was on As the World Turns. His love interest on the show at the time was Julianne Moore when she played Franny. And that's where they all came from. That's why I'm looking at these actors. I'm going like, this is why I watch them, because they have that training, they have that knowledge, and then they're coming in. We already know that they're going to be on their shit. And I loved Wings. He was great on Wings. That was one of my favorite shows. My favorite story to share about Steven when I first met him was here at ATX, which was last year. He was here promoting Chicago Med, obviously, and he got poison ivy.
Oh my gosh.
He got poison
That's
ivy.
terrible.
I forgot what it was that he did, but it might have been a hike. But he was on stage. He said on stage he got poison ivy. He comes off the stage. He sees me. And then he actually gave me a hug, even though he just said he had poison ivy. And he said, I just gave you poison ivy. And I said, well, thank you. What a lovely gift that you just given me in life. I mean, seriously. I mean, and that just adds on to the fact, like, Steve, this is why I love you.
yes.
But can I hate you for just one moment? You just, the audacity,
Dare you.
give me poison ivy. But now I went home and I said, if I got poison ivy, I know exactly who to blame. I'm going to tag him on Instagram and be like, Steven Weber gave me poison ivy. Please put that in people.
If I'm gonna get it from anybody, I guess I'll get it from Stephen Webb.
I mean, also accurate, but I'm so excited to see that he's able to be funny on that show. I mean, that cast is beautiful anyway. I met Jessie Schramm for the first time this year. She's absolutely beautiful and lovely. If I ever meet Essa Pathamerkerson, I might die, because I talked to you about Law and Order before you got over here with Veronica, and I'm just sitting here going like, Law and Order was my first ever procedural show that I've ever watched. Well, actually, that's a lie. Hunter was the first show.
Oh my God, I love it.
Hunter was my show. I loved me some Hunter. If you catch me watching anything on a Saturday night on NBC,
Will be Hunter.
it was Hunter.
What was the one with the helicopter with the screaming? Did you remember that show?
Oh
It
my
was like the
God.
3 guys, and there was the helicopter. It was pink, and it had the mouth on it.
Oh my God, we're gonna have to Google this because I don't
Wait, hold
remember.
on.
But that got me to the world of it. While Rebecca's looking that up, I get to talk some more. But that was really my first foray into it, especially I love the fact that they cast Fred Dwyer and Stephanie Kramer in that show because you could see that they had that chemistry of will they, won't they?
Yes.
But I'm so glad they
Riptide.
Ripped.
Riptide. I do remember Riptide. I do remember Riptide. Oh my God. This is all coming back to me now.
Screaming Phoebe.
You know, the other, and then it just made me think of the other show that I used to watch too around that time, Wise Guy.
Yes. Of course.
Wise
Mhm,
Guy was
mhm.
my show too. And my mom, that was one of the shows that I didn't think my mom would like. She loves the Wise Guy. She loved Wise Guy. And that's how I got into Wise Guy.
Well, you know what's funny about you saying the will they, won't they? I do feel like that is also part of the procedural formula sometimes when they have a duo and you want them during the
Moonlighting of it all.
correct. And like, is
Yes.
there's a
So we really are having our procedural panel right now, and I'm the host.
Right there, yep.
Well, Felicia could be my co-host.
Yes.
She could be my co-host. But that's very true. Then you know when you see that, because obviously with SVU we all talked about Benson and Stabler, the will they, won't they, and that's still a thing even after 20 some odd years. I think 25 years.
Jack and the Jill Hennessy.
That's true. They did with yes, and then they because when she wanted to leave in season 6, and they killed her off in the car accident. Because I thought the same thing with Jack and Anne Parisi's character. I thought they were going to do that as well. They were leaning to that, and then she wanted to leave.
Right.
I'm like, okay, so basically, don't have anyone get with Jack, or
Widow.
I feel like Jack is going to be the guy. Let's not do that anymore.
In order. Sorry, it's my accent when I say it. It's so.
I love it though.
I still watch it.
I do too. I started rewatching it again.
Whenever, especially in a hotel, I will just turn on TBS because I know that it's going to be on, and I will just leave it on.
So there's now a fast channel for it, and I'm just like, Wolf is a genius. And I talked to Tom Fontana yesterday,
Oh,
and
another.
Homicide: Life on the Street was Law and Order was the reason why I got into Homicide: Life on the Street, especially when they started doing the crossovers, and knowing that Tom and Dick Wolf were and still are very good friends.
Oh, that's good.
It's they've known each other since Hill Street Blues, and when Tom was doing St. Elsewhere, and then that's when they came together, and then on The Shield on Hill Street Blues. Look at us, full circle. But it's just the idea that it's, as I said, it's full circle with all of these shows, and how I came to love these procedurals so much because they just incorporated so many things from this one show into this other show, and then into this third one, especially when they moved Munch over from Homicide into SVU.
Yeah.
It's just, and like you said, the will they, won't they aspect that most, if not all of these have. Even Castle had.
Yes.
You know, it's just, it's everywhere. So I think too, going back to the Law and Order piece of it, when we're talking about, as you mentioned, Rebecca, earlier, when with CCH Pounder's character coming in, and it was originally written for a man, and we already had enough men on the show.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I loved about when they did the change up with casting in Law and Order midway through season 3. It might be season 3, maybe season 4, where they actually said there's not any women on the show in the main cast. We need to get rid of some. As much as it probably did upset people, bringing Jill Hennessy on really did help the show because we needed to have that women representation. And then once Essa Pathamurkison joined the show as well the same year, we needed to have those strong female lead characters in the program because we really weren't getting much of that representation at all.
God, do you remember the one actor that he played like 12 different roles? And it was, I forget what awards it was. I don't know if it was like the Tonys or the Emmys or the Golden Globes, and they showed
Every single one.
I laughed so hard. It was so funny. I'm like, yeah, but we still want to watch it. We don't care.
So I was very happy that they were able to end his story, on a very, very positive note. Like he was able to leave it in a way that his legacy is still there, but it's also like he knew it was time to go.
Yeah.
So that was one of the best things about that. And I'm glad that it's still going even past
What else
him.
are you watching right now?
Oh my gosh. Shrinking,
Okay.
The Hunting Wives that I finished. I just started Maximum Pleasure Guaranteed that just premiered on the 20th of this month.
I'm going to go to the party.
I am invited.
Okay.
So I'm
We
going.
have a panel too.
I'm doing the red carpet for that,
Okay, good.
which I was very surprised I got accepted for. But I also make a joke going, I wonder if they accepted me because they knew I won an award for them.
Well, there you go.
I am watching Your Friends and Neighbors because I just did a conversation upstairs And we talked about how Lena Hall's character, who suffers from bipolar disorder and mental health, the one thing I said was that I appreciate that this show is telling this story in a way where it's respectful to those that are suffering through mental health issues. And if they are suffering through bipolar disorder, it's also respecting that as well. They're not over dramatizing it. They're not using it for comedic effect, basically. And I want to
Versions of it.
yeah, and I appreciate them telling the story because I also, when I had Lena on the show, when we talked about it, the one thing I told her was that I had a mental breakdown 4 years ago.
Yeah, that's fake.
And to see this story being played, especially for someone who still suffers through mental health issues, it was enlightening for me in the best way.
Hey, that's why we like procedurals. We like a finish, a start, a mid.
A start, a middle, and an end.
Nothing helps when you're feeling unstarved.
Yeah. And that's what I love about Brooke Shields' new show. I watched the first 2 so far, and they're very good because it's definitely, I described it as when I talked to Brooke Shields on Thursday, and I said to her, it's literally Cagney and Lacey meets Murder, She Wrote.
I love
Oh,
that.
that's a good
Okay.
Yes, and it really does come off that way, especially I love that they incorporate comedy into the show.
Yeah.
It's not just a straight mystery drama
Literally,
series. That's a good one. That was a good one.
Best Medicine on Fox, the new show with Josh Charles.
Okay.
I wanted to get him on my show too. So Josh, if you're listening, please come on the show.
It's almost like Northern Exposure,
Okay.
That was
But-
a good one back in the day too.
but
That's my
it's
husband's
so
favorite.
sweet and like it sounds like what the tone of this is as well.
Yeah,
Curious.
So nice. It's like a nice.
it really is. And I love that aspect of it. I'm like, I love that we can keep like the mystery of it. Yes, there is obviously, because it is a mystery, there's some semblance of violence in it, obviously, because they have a murder to solve. But it's not gory. It's able to have that levity of where they can be funny.
Yes.
And the chemistry between Brooke and Amalia Williamson in the show plays so well. And that's why this tag team of strong leading women works so hard. And that's why I said this is literally Cagney and Lacey and Murder, She Wrote.
I love Best Medicine. Also, Will They Won't They.
It is a Will They Won't They. And that's based
Miguel Spencer.
off of, isn't it based off a UK show
Yes.
of it?
Absolutely. Yes, I'm telling you,
Yeah.
if you want like a feel good, like
sounds
where
great.
you're just
You have to.
Okay. Now,
It's definitely funny. You have to watch it.
are you watching Half?
I'm sad that that's over.
I did not see the finale.
Don't say
Last
anything.
episode left, and I stayed off socials to
You had to.
because I saw someone pop up something like, oh, there must have been a thing.
But then we were going on the other end of it because then I also watched The Pit.
Yeah.
I'm like, we're going from let's have this kind of a life where it's like happy.
It's another show that I have to wait to binge. I have to watch it all.
I do
That's
that with
how-
that show too because I did that with the first season.
But
I
yeah.
do too. That's the only way to watch it. I can't watch it all the time.
Mhm.
And somebody's like, "Why do you have the anxiety of a full shift?" And I'm like, "Because that's what they want you to
That's
do."
what you to do.
I have to watch that in like 2 to 3 episode increments. I can't do that like that. But you know, the shows that can do that are like those 8 episodes and one.
Yeah.
I did that with DTF St. Louis.
Yeah,
Oh
You know,
yeah.
I've done
the lighter one.
The lighter
yes.
ones. Yeah.
You know, I can do all those like that. But The Pit, I think it's because it's so anxiety ridden. I have to do like 2 to 3.
I also feel like because I work on a medical show, I need to watch The Pit.
Sure.
Yeah.
I need to watch other ones. I feel like I need to.
Yeah, that's the other thing. We're going
I'm
like,
like-
so what are they doing that can we incorporate into our show? Could we do this?
Oh wait, they're on streaming. They can do way gory.
They can do a lot more, yes.
Yeah.
No.
They can have way more maggots than we can have.
I forgot.
Love some
That-
of the randomness though too, like the girl that was scorched with the
Just
peanut.
That
I
just
love that.
peanuts.
I love
Oh
it.
my
I'm like,
God.
this again.
See, and that's the thing. Like, I love talking about TV.
You're at the perfect festival for it.
That's what I mean. Like, it's so nice to have a place where you can like talk about TV.
Yes, and other people that
We
like
should
TV
do a
and
panel next
understand
year where
TV.
it's literally just this.
Yes.
Like, I feel like
Watching. It's called.
we need to put that. We got to pitch that.
Let's do that.
I think we should
I'm
pitch that.
meeting it.
I know some people.
Yes.
You know a guy that knows a guy that knows a guy.
That's
Yeah.
right.
It's you.
I'm like, Emily, listen, I have an idea for a panel that I could probably moderate.
Getting the
Cool.
audience and
Oh, they'll come. They already come anyway, you know? And
they want to talk about what they're watching.
I love that I said it to someone earlier that this is Comic-Con for adults who love TV
Yeah.
without the stress.
That's what I was explaining to my husband when he was asking about the festival. I kind of explained it like that, actually.
Mhm.
People that love TV. It's like a Comic-Con for people that love TV.
Yeah.
What do you think? Do you think we can handle having a panel next year on what is it that viewers are watching right now? I would love to gauge the fans on exactly what is it that piques their interest in their television viewing, but only time will tell. That's going to do it for us here at The Buzz. I'm Novell J. Lee, and keep it locked here for more episodes along the way, streaming on all podcast platforms.
Thanks for tuning in to The Buzz. Catch all episodes on Spotify. Remember to like and subscribe. Visit buzzworthyradiocast.com.